So I'm going to teach y'all, at least from my perspective, how do you get rich? How do you get rich? Like, and it seems like this big puzzle, and it seems like this mystery. But maybe it's a mystery because because we've never asked the question before, how do I get rich? Right? Maybe we've asked the question, how do I make money? Maybe we've asked the question, how do I get a better job? Maybe we've asked the question, how do I get a raise? But maybe we haven't asked the question, how do I get rich? Maybe that's why we haven't found the answer. Maybe it's because we're afraid of what we think other people will think about us if we were rich. Can I get a witness? One of my people, right? Because that's like a real thing. I don't want people to judge me and think I'm a bad person because I have money. So, like, that might be part of the reason. It also might be part of the reason because maybe we have sought, maybe we have looked, but maybe just nobody ever taught us. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe I'm not rich because nobody ever taught me how to be rich. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you today 3 millionaire formulas that I use to make millions of dollars. And when I say millions, it sounds like people throw around the word millions like, oh, millions. And I'm not a multi-billionaire. I'm not. I'm a multi-millionaire? Yes. Multi-billionaire? No. Right? Will I ever be a billionaire? Maybe. If I am, it won't be because that was my focus. It will be because my focus is to serve as many people as I can in my God-given assignment and then let the chips fall where they may. Right? So that's for me. And by the way, I'm not even saying that's the goal you should have. Right? And so first of all, understand, you got to, like, if you're going to get rich, the first thing you got to do is you have to get okay with the idea that getting rich is okay. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to be okay with the idea that being rich is okay. It's okay to be rich even if other people in your family are poor. It's okay to be rich even if other people who are your friends are poor. It doesn't make you better than them. It just makes you richer than them. And being richer doesn't make you better, but it also doesn't make you worse. Okay? So you have to make peace with this whole idea of wealth creation, because if you don't, you are never going to work to become something you despise. Right? Stop hating rich people. There are people who hate rich people just because they're rich. You know why? Because they believe that the reason they're poor is because rich people are rich. There are people who believe that now. I know. I've had people say to me, you know, I'm not that greedy. I want there to be some left over for somebody else. Do you understand? I don't want to be rich. I'm not that greedy. I want there to be some left over for somebody else. Okay. So we get paid in life in direct proportion to our resourcefulness. I'm going to say that again. We get paid in our lives in direct proportion to our resourcefulness. We don't get paid in direct proportion to the resources around us, because it is our resourcefulness that turns things into resources. Are y'all tracking? And so, like, I've got to make sure that I am okay with being rich, and I got to make sure that I am not, like, I'm not hating on rich people. And after I do all that stuff, then I got to do the right thing. Then I got to do the right thing with my money, right? I got to start doing the right thing for my money. And then I have to start doing the right things with my money. I got to do the right things for my money. Then I got to do the right things with my money. And there are some people who, and when I say the right things, when I say right, I don't mean right as opposed to wrong. I mean right for the purpose of creating wealth. I have to do the things with my money, for money that will create wealth and not just create existence. Most people, when they say I want to make a living, what they mean is I want to make an existence, right? Because most people don't really live, they just exist. And they keep repeating Groundhog Day over and over, and today looks like yesterday, and this week looks like last week, and this month looks like last month, and this year looks like last year, and it doesn't get any better. And they keep just doing the same thing, and they're like on this hamster wheel of their own creation, because they disregarded the first command, which is not the same as the first commandment. Right? What was the first command? Be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, and have dominion. Now, so if I am going to create wealth, these are the first three. I'm going to have to understand the purpose for my life. So what's the purpose for my life? Purpose number one, I need to create.